So, welcome. It is Thursday. No, it's Wednesday. I'm on holiday schedule, so my days are so messed up right now. It would be weird if it was Thursday. It is Wednesday, and last week you all arrived in Avernus along with the rest of Elturel. Sort of standing before Zariel, she released the pit fiend Gargoth from Mavathor's shield. She proceeded to chastise him for his absence from Avernus and the Blood Wars. Gargoth begged for mercy as the horns of war began to sound below Elturel. Zariel left Gargoth to deal with you all as a means of maintaining his position in the infernal cast. As the battle commenced in the streets of Elturel, Ulder and Captain Lightheart headed to the high halls in hopes of gathering survivors. You all defeated the devil, Gargoth, and some of Zariel's other minions, but not before Gargoth removed the head of one of your traveling companions, the Archmage Silvira Savakis. Currently now, the horns of war continue to sound below you. As the darkened companion crackles above, you can see from your current vantage point the blood wars are in full effect as Zariel and her army cut through the hordes of demons spilling out from the river Styx. Without the battle raging below, however, you believe the city would be swarming with Zariel's minions currently, turning Elturel's surviving citizens into fodder for the blood wars. I will put you guys on just the Avernus, or just the Elturel map, and you can see the party token there. That's roughly where you guys are currently in the city. And so at the moment, you kind of are surrounded there by Gargoth and the three bearded devils' bodies. I don't know if you guys can remind me. I can't remember off the top of my head I can't remember if the woman survived or not.
She did.
Okay. The woman is there, kind of clutching her two children, and you can see there, kind of where the lavas are flowing through the city, where the rivers once flowed before Elturel was transported. There's like a large part of the street has collapsed, and you can kind of see down below to the landscape beneath Elturel. And there's a large battle going on beside the river Styx, which just is a pool of dark water that is flowing sort of beneath where Elturel is currently hovering. The sounds of screaming are sort of going around all about still. Black pillars of smoke are floating up into the air, sort of wherever you look, as fires are still burning. You can hear the chains that are tethering the massive land that encompasses Elturel kind of rattling, and then the sound of horns and war below you. And now I'll be quiet. Oh, let me change this music to something more appropriate.
All right. Well, Avatar will look down at Silvira's body and take her spell book off of her.
To be honest, she probably has some magic stuff.
Yeah. Well, he'll look around and see if he can't see anything else.
Rayleigh will check on the woman and her two children. see if she's okay.
He's checking in on Lulu.
Lulu's just keeping an eye out. I need that.
Crayley, the woman's, got her 2 children cradled in either arm. She, when you come over to check on her, she sort of looks up at you and, she says, thank you, I'd give you a hug, but my hands are kind of full. She sort of looks around, she looks up at the companion and kind of stares at it. You can kind of see little arcs of lightning kind of flicker off it in the reflection of her eyes as you look at her, and she says, this might be a little on the nose, but what the hell happened?
It's a bit of a long story, but what's important is you and your children are safe. I'm just glad we were here to find you. Just so you're aware, we've heard word that people are heading to the High Hall to group up for protection. Are you sure you're okay? Are your children okay? And I'll offer her the water skin I have, if she needs it.
She says, I suppose we're okay, considering the circumstances. If it weren't for you and your friends and the little golden one there, we certainly would have suffered a different fate. The High Halls, it's all the way across the bridges. And she just looks kind of panicked and confused.
I'll kind of say in a loud tone to see how the rest of the group responds when I say it, but it does appear to be a bit of a distance. We ultimately are headed in that direction. I would be inclined to say you stay with us so we can protect you and your children along the way.
She's nods her head. She says, I couldn't bear being left alone in all of this chaos. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Still, you see, Lulu sort of glaring at the bodies of the slain devils. She's kind of floating there beside you, this angry look on her face. She says, so much pain, so much destruction, all in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, it's a lot. Are you okay, Lulu?
I suppose this is a little overwhelming. I wish there's something we could do to help all these people. The screaming, it's just ringing in my ears.
We can hope by getting them to safety at the High Hall.
I think that's a good idea. Action's what's required. And, she kind of hovers over and floats up kind of behind the woman and her 2 children. She's puffs out her chest, kind of trying to make herself look big. She says, don't worry, we'll get you to safety. She tries to make herself look scary. Her braid that you tied in the ribbon kind of like falls down, and she blows it up back behind her head.
I tighten it for her.
I'll say to the woman, Lulu was the one that slew the pit fiend, so you are under good protection.
The woman says, yes, if she hadn't been there to chase those devils out of our home, I dare say that we wouldn't be here to speak with you. Thank you, Lulu. Thank you, Lulu. Thank you so much. And Lulu looks proud of herself. She says, it's my duty to protect. And, Mavathor, Silvira has, along with her spellbook, she has like a satchel that's draped over her shoulder still, containing mostly spell components and things of that nature, but there are a couple of potions in there. You look around, you look her up and down the there's maybe a wand in her satchel as well. You look up kind of look the rest of her up and down, and she's got a few rings on her fingers, one of which you can see you can recognize some arcane sigils engraved on. So maybe a magical ring.
Yeah, he'll take what he can. He'll stand up and turn to the party and say, "All right, we should move out."
Just out of curiosity, Dolos, you said you were sort of on the lookout.
Yeah, just making sure that no one sneaks up on us.
Why don't you make a perception check?
Okay. The first one.
Dolos, you really have a few moments after the battle to really take in what's happening. The sounds of the city, the horns and the battle below, the pillars of smoke, the river of lava flowing past you with the heat just kind of blasting off of the surface. And you sort of realize, like, truly the circumstances you find yourself in, You're not on the material plane anymore, and it makes you a little dizzy. You have a recollection of the interaction you had with Mavathor and Asmodeus, and you're still not even sure if you are hallucinating or if that really happened. And as you're standing there trying to watch, through the smoke, you can see the shadows of figures running in the streets, and occasionally you can hear this, like cackles or laughter of malevolent creatures. lurking about. And as you're standing there, trying to watch over the party, there's like a bright flash out of the corner of your eye, and you, like, beside your peripheral vision, and you look up at the sky, and then sort of past the dark companion, lightning flickering off of it, you see something arcing through the sky, and it gets bigger and bigger, and this massive meteorite some distance away across the chasm on the other side of the city, you see this massive meteorite strike the top half of the high halls and explode, blasting through two of its towers, and there's this horrible sound as it bursts, and sending more flame and smoke into the air across the far side of the city, where you know that Ulder and Captain Lightheart had said they were heading.
I think Delos has some like flashbacks to his explosion at the high halls, and then like gets his bearings, and like, we need to get to the high halls right now. We are not safe here.
Praley, the woman, stands with her children, and she says, You look okay, but your friends don't look so good. And I saw them all take some hits from that big beast you were fighting. Are they okay? Because all of you are, everyone but Crayley is pretty beat up, right?
Yeah.
The rest of you guys hear, hear that meteor explode, and you guys kind of look towards the sound, and you all see a big pillar of fire and more smoke raising up from the high halls. From it kind of sits at the highest point of the city, and so you can see the high halls up there. Part of it just now like crumbled and burning. Two of its towers have completely fallen.
Looks like the high halls aren't as safe as we thought they were.
I think my friends could use any help they could get, and I unfortunately used all my healing potions during that last fight.
Avatar will use the pool of 35 hit points to restore himself.
Okay. Well, let's talk about this for just a brief moment.
Okay.
Out of character.
Okay.
You know, the next. You guys are, you know, in Avernus now, but at some point we're going to have to normalize, you know, even though you're in hell, places to rest.
Okay.
It's not like you can't take a long rest just because you're in a dangerous place. So I just making you guys aware that, you know, don't feel pressured to be pushed forward. You know, you guys can take your time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, in character, you can actually talk,
Yeah.
like, figure out what you guys want to do next without my input, you know?
Okay. Do we all think we should maybe collect ourselves for a moment before we continue further into the city?
I think that might be a good idea.
As much as I hate to say it, I agree.
Lulu says, well, that place should be, empty now. We might be able to, sneak a rest in there. And she points to the house that, she chased the devils out of just nearby, right outside of the market square.
Might be worth a shot, but the devils are currently distracted by the demons right now, so I think now would be as good a time as any to try and get to the High Hall. Because we might not have this opportunity again.
Lulu says, Mr. Ravengard did say that we should try and get as many survivors together as possible before we bring them there. I can still hear innocent lives screaming for help.
I do think arrest is in order, not only for us, but maybe to help calm the children, just in case. That is the vote I will put forward.
Let me see. The woman is having a hard time keeping the children quiet. They're both crying fairly loudly. Also, the woman says, by the way, my name is Harkina. What's your name? So I don't have to keep calling her the woman. Yeah.
My name is Krayley.
These are my boys, Ezo and Brask.
They're so cute.
And was this the home? Was this your home you were just chased out of?
It is. It was. I suppose. Yes.
Is there anything in there that may help your children feel safe or calm?
To be honest, I didn't. I felt this horrible dizziness, and then before I knew it, those vile beasts were coming in through the back door. They drove their spears through my husband's back, and then the little golden one arrived. It all happened so fast. I didn't really get a chance to look over things. I mean, their things should still be in there. Their beds.
I mean, if you want a way to help calm them, I do have a book, you could say, Got some poems about the ocean, the open sea. Maybe it could help calm the little ones. I don't know if they're into that, but I never seen anything wrong with.
Can I minor illusion like a little dancing monkey?
Sure, yeah. Make a performance check.
Okay. God, hopefully I don't make this work.
Ooh.
Nice.
Why do we have advantage?
You use minor illusion and conjure the image of a little dancing monkey. It kind of, hops around Harkina's head, and the two boys, at first, they don't really notice it, but then it catches one of their eyes, and as it continues to kind of dance around, as you puppet the little illusion about, they start to kind of even despite the environment, they start to kind of giggle and smile, and you see Harkina like take a big breath. She looks over at you, Sylvie. She says, "Thank you so much. I'm sorry. I'm just still trying to get my bearings. I've forgotten how to be a mother."
Don't worry, we all are.
She says, if you want to try and cross the bridges over to the western portion of the city, we'll stay close and try to remain out of your way. I'll try to keep the children quiet as best as I can. Maybe we can pick up some stragglers along the way. But you're more than welcome to rest in my home if you need it. I might be able to scrounge up a few things for you to eat.
Graylee's kind of looking. I just want to see how everybody else feels.
Yeah, same.
Well, Malifaux feels strongly we should try and get to the High Halls just so we can try and regroup with Ulder and Foreign.
Okay.
Let's agree.
Sylvie. Agreed too. I'm just curious.
Being newer to the city, you guys have gotten a glimpse of it, but you didn't really get a chance to really explore too much before you were all transported here. Why don't you guys give me like a group stealth check, and then a group survival check as well.
Did we ask the woman we saved to help guide us to the High Halls?
Oh yeah, you guys can make your survival checks with advantage then.
Shaded.
She says, from here, Torm's Blade is the closest bridge. Hopefully it's still standing. This place looks pretty ripped apart. Let's see. You guys, Harkina, she begins to, sort of direct you. She says, head up through here until you make your way to the main thoroughfare of the city and head west. That'd be the quickest way to the bridges. And, so you guys begin to kind of follow her direction, and you get near the you get near to the main thoroughfare of El Turel, and then there's a strong earthquake. The shitty city begins to kind of shake and rumble, and kind of on the other side of the road, you guys see a building collapse in the distance. It just kind of gives way under the shifting of the city, and you can then hear cries emerge from the rubble. Oh, help! Help us!
Guys, I think somebody's screaming for help. Let's
Yeah,
try to
can we
locate
look
them.
for them?
What if it's a trick?
It's pretty easy to follow the sounds of the shouts. They persist. Oh, my leg! Help us! You follow your way to and you find the collapsed building. There's still kind of a plume of dust and rubble now spilling out into the main street. You kind of look back and forth, and you make your way to the collapsed building, and you can hear the sounds of three distinct voices shouting in the rubble. Help us!
Rayleigh will try to use mold earth at I guess whoever's the loudest that he can hear. Try to excavate the loose
Okay.
rubble.
You use mold earth. You begin using mold earth to excavate some of the rubble. You quickly move some piles of debris, and you can see like after moving some of the facade of the house that's collapsed, the building that's collapsed, you can see like an arm and a leg trapped under a beam sticking out. And there's still quite a bit of debris on top, so all you can really see is their arm and leg sticking out of. But it seems like if you can continue to move some of the rubble with mold earth, you'd be able to get enough moved away, as long as there's not a further collapse, to maybe lift the beam and get the person unstuck. This is kind of like a skill check type of thing. So if anyone has any other ways they could think of that they wanted to try and assist in excavating these people.
I'll give Krayley a bardic inspiration.
And I'll give him guidance.
Oh, nice.
Why doesn't somebody give me an investigation check?
Nice.
Nice.
Sylvie, you see Krayley continuing to move some of this rubble with mold earth, and you notice that if he continues in the way that he's going, some of the rubble is actually supporting a further collapse, and you kind of point it out and you direct him to start kind of going in another direction, moving rubble away, and you avoid that circumstance. Eventually, you get enough of the rubble moved away that you can see trapped under this beam. You can see why it's, even with the rubble moved away, they can't really get themselves out without assistance. You find like a stout, squat, black-bearded dwarven man, and there's still just enough rubble, like holding the beam down, that he can't squeeze out of it just because of the sheer roundness of his body. But together you guys manage to move enough stuff away and get him from out of underneath the beam. And he says, oh, my knees. And he kind of pulls himself up, and he's got soot like covering his face, and he says, oh, I thank you. Two more of my companions are still in there, though. And he goes and starts like helping you guys pull rubble and stuff away. So why didn't somebody give me a perception check?
Nice.
Mabithor, as this is going on, you notice the frequency of the lightning strikes of the companion above, as you guys are a little closer to it, are sort of like increasing. And you notice that each strike is coming like closer and closer to where you guys are trying to dig these survivors out of this recent collapse that just happened before you. And you guys managed to, Mabithor, you managed to get the party out of the way of an incoming lightning strike from the companion, avoiding somebody taking some serious lightning damage. As you guys continue to remove debris, you find another Dwarven person trapped in the rubble and pull them out. She says, "Oh, Stroven! Thank God, I thought we were done for." And as he pulls her out, she looks up at the rest of you. She says, "Oh, bless your hearts! If you hadn't arrived here in time, we would have been done for." And then you hear, "Come on, I'm still under here!" And the two dwarves look at each other and say, "Oh, Velcora's still there. Keep digging!" So you guys have removed Strovin and Kartra from the rebels, a male and female dwarf. You can hear a dwarven voice still shouting for help inside.
I'm going to continue to keep using Mold Earth while I can.
You get to a point where the debris is just so tightly condensed. There's beams kind of pushing against each other that you think you'll have to kind of squeeze in past a couple of beams, Krayley, to continue moving rubble away to get to the final person. Why don't you give me an acrobatics check?
Acrobatics, okay. And I would like to go ahead and use that bardic inspiration first.
12 is good enough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You squeeze in between these two sort of crisscrossed, like the two main pillars that were probably holding the structure together. And then you're able to kind of continue to remove rubble from the inside, and you get enough rubble moved away. You eventually find the third dwarf in there, just covered in debris. His face is just covered in dust and soot from the collapse as you pull him out. I wonder if he can squeeze through the beams. He's only got a beat of 10. All right. He manages to just he kind of gets half his body through, and his lower half kind of gets jammed up, and his two dwarven companions go and grab his arms and pull him the rest of the way through. And they are all kind of standing there. The woman among the three, you can see that she has a holy symbol around her neck, but the three of them are sort of just dressed in plain clothing. The woman says, "Oh, by Morden's light, thank you so much. We're so lucky that the three of you were here when this happened. 4 of you, 5, 6, 7, 8 of you. Oh, we couldn't have got out of that mess without your assistance. I'm Kartra. That's Velcra, and that's Stroven. Oh, what a pickle we're in, huh? Where are you all headed?
A high hall.
Oh, a little, strength in numbers, that's what we like to say. You guys, get a few more survivors in tow, on your way to the high halls. You continue to, now creep through the main thoroughfare of the street, and, as you get closer and closer, you can see sort of, now the wide chasm that separates the eastern portion of El Terrell and the western portion of El Terrell. To the north of you, you can see you can hear now much louder the riotous din of the battle taking place far below the city. It's much louder here, echoing up through the jagged open chasm. And to the north of you, you can see a bridge that is 20 feet wide and more than 100 feet long that spans the chasm. Why don't you guys give me some... How close do you want to try and get to the bridge? You can give me some perception checks as well.
I mean, Delos is going to try and get as close as he can.
Okay.
Oh, Dolos.
Asmodeus does not favor me today.
Oh, no.
From here, Krayley and Sylvie, the two of you notice 6 infernal creatures standing guard at the center of the bridge, kind of scanning around in all directions. Sylvie, you also notice holy runes etched into the stonework of the bridge. I would say you could make a religion check, if you wanted to. You've fought enough of these creatures at this point that Krayley and Sylvie, I think the two of you would know that you can see 2 bearded devils and 4 spined devils standing on the bridge, guarding people from passing, kind of keeping an eye out in all directions. You actually see like a you see a small group of survivors, maybe half a dozen, rush out of around the corner on the north side of the bridge and sort of try to charge across, and you see them get quickly cut down by the demons standing on the bridge.
Stop. The bridge is being guarded by at least 6 devils that we can see. We may need to think about
rooms
this.
on the bridge. I can't make them out though.
Dolos, give me a stealth check. How close are you getting? As close as you can?
Yeah, as close as I can.
Yeah, you can get as close as you want. It just depends on
He got a nat
what
one.
happens
I
after
don't
that.
think he.
Well, you got to on perception, but that doesn't, necessarily have any.
perception,
Yeah. That just means you don't see
Okay.
anything.
Oh,
Um, I'm just calling it a +6 because there's 6 devils there. You're trying to creep closer and closer to the bridge, and as you're about 20 feet away, up until now you've had some cover, and you managed to get pretty close. Say maybe the party is... I don't know, what are you guys doing while Dolus is trying to get close to the bridge?
I think Sylvie's trying to get his attention. Like, Delos, get back here.
Okay.
Delos.
I had kind of assumed, like, I had kind of taken it as though, like, you're just trying to scout ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
So maybe you're 50 feet away from the party at this point, and then as you're about 20 feet away from the bridge itself, there, you see the group of survivors try to charge across the bridge and get swiftly cut down, and you kind of duck behind a little pile of rubble when they charge out, and then you kind of poke your head back up after you hear them slaughtered, and then you hear in infernal a voice say, "Ugh, another one! Kill it!" And a couple of the spine devils flap over in your direction.
Whoa. I'm not your enemy. I work for Asmodeus too.
Do you,
I'm here to help you.
Are you speaking
I was
in...
sent by him.
Are you speaking
Yes,
in
Infernal.
Infernal? Okay.
Yes.
They kind of, the 2 spine devils that were flying towards you, they pause and look back, and the 2 bearded devils come forward with their glaives raised up. One of them says, "Sent by the big guy, huh? Well..."
Yes. I know where the hideout of the other important people are, you could say. I was sent by him to help you kill them. I think it'd be better if we stick together instead of... I don't think killing me would be such a good idea. You want help getting to them?
We have direct orders from Zariel to guard the bridge. But if you've got business, you're welcome to pass.
I mean...
Make a deception check.
Okay. Oh... Okay.
Huh. They say, most of the other hunting parties are already arrived at the high halls. So if you're trying to catch up to one of those groups, you better hurry.
Oh, thank you. And there will be another group of people coming by pretty soon. I would suggest you not interfere with them.
Well, why don't you let us decide who we interfere with? Go on, get...
Okay. Yeah, Dallas runs.
Okay, you go across the bridge. My favorite, splitting the party in hell. Okay, Dolus, you cross to the other side of the bridge. What do the rest of
I
you
didn't
do?
want to do it, guys. I'm sorry. But I was gonna die if I did it. I only have 9 HP.
What do you do when you get to the other side, Delos?
I head straight for the high halls.
Okay, you do. Give me a stealth.
He's looking for Lightheart.
Okay, we'll leave you right there then. For the moment. What do the rest of you guys do now? You see Delos have a short conversation with the devils on the bridge, to your dismay, and then he walks past to the other side. You guys do have those communication badges. I think they work to a range of 500 feet, maybe. Your Ravenheart pins. So, Delos, you're out of range now.
No.
Oh.
Sorry. One of the you hear one of the dwarves say, "Oh, that's a bold fella."
Yeah.
Why don't the rest of you make some perception checks again? These first couple sessions in Avernus, I'll just tell you guys now, straightforwardly, they'll probably be a little strange and chaotic. You hear the clopping of hooves on the stone, coming from the east of you guys. And you see Lulu's eyes grow big and wide, and the others are kind of like looking around, trying to figure out where the sound's coming from. And Lulu says, I just got this horrible feeling. We need to hide. Trust me. Hide. And Lulu kind of flies into a nearby burning building.
Let's go. Motion, guess.
Sylvie, your mic wasn't picking up.
Oh, I just said, yeah, let's go.
Your growing pack of survivors follows Lulu and the rest of you behind, and you hear the clopping of hooves getting closer and closer. Why don't you all you see Lulu like squeezing her eyes together really tightly, and she's like trying to make herself dimmer, because she's got a little bit of a glow to her, and inside the building you guys run into, there's some kind of flames licking about, but it's not too bad inside the fire. It's mostly on the outside, and it's kind of slowly dying down, but when you guys rush in, it's total darkness except for the glow of Lulu, and she's kind of squeezing her, clenching her jaw, trying to make herself a little dimmer, and as she does so, why don't you all give me some stealth checks? You see clopping around the corner on the back of a tall ebony horse whose hooves and mane are licking with flames. you see this black armored gentleman atop this steed, carrying a spear, a long spear in one hand, almost the point of it almost kind of dragging along the stone. Little sparks are coming off of it as it clops towards you guys. This fella starts clomping past.
Could Krayley try to take off his cape thing and put it over Lulu? Just in an attempt to hide.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. 16, 21, 13. I'm gonna roll one for the rest of the group that you have with you. Ooh.
Oh.
This is probably more. This is probably going to be more because of the nature of Lulu more than anything else.
Okay.
But as it's kind of clomping towards you guys down the street and getting nearer and nearer to the building you guys are all trying to hide in, Lulu says, "That creature is very powerful. It should not be confronted." And she's just still trying to make herself dimmer and dimmer. Let's see. Stealth. Dolus is across the bridge, so I don't need one from them. So why don't it's kind of the group check is kind of a tie with the NPC. So why doesn't somebody give me one more stealth check? As you're Krayley draping something over Lulu to further dim her glow, why don't you give me one more stealth check? You need to beat a 14.
Good luck.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
The
Oh, thank goodness.
the Black Knight on the flaming steed sort of stops right in front of the windows of the burning house that you're all in. The dragging of his spear kind of comes to a halt, and you can hear the heaving, leathery breath of the steed breathing in and out. And the knights, you can just see these two ember eyes in the helm glowing as it kind of is looking, its head slowly turning up and down the streets. It looks over at the bridge, and the horse lets out a couple more long, nasally breaths. As it's kind of standing out there in front of the house, you can even just smell the thick scent of sulfur hanging in the air. As then the knight tugs on the metal chain reins on the beasts, and it starts to clop past the house off into the distance. You all kind of sit there with bated breath as the sound of the hooves fade away as it moves past. And then one of the doors kind of like lets their breath out. They say, "Fucking hell, what a nightmare."
I'll grab the cape back, and I'm sorry for doing that, Lulu.
It was the right thing. What? Lulu says, well, I don't know if we're gonna be able to have the same luck as Dolos getting across the bridge there. Does anybody else have bright ideas?
I'm also a bard. So maybe I can help with a little incognito plan. What if Mavathor pretends to be like a guard or something of Asmodeus, and he is bringing us to the High Halls?
Well, I don't know why I'd be bringing captives there. From what we saw, they're just all killed on sight.
That's true.
I may have a solution, but I think it might take a while. And, you see, he focuses for a moment before you hear like a cracking sound and two bat wings come out of his back. And, he says, I have the capability of flight, but, might be taxing on me physically to drag each and every one of you back and forth across this chasm, you know. Guys know how many times?
Does anybody know reduce and enlarge?
No. I have these potions of unknown outcome, but I don't know how much help that'll be.
Yeah, and I
Oh boy.
highly doubt it'd be a good idea for everyone to try and fit into the bag of holding. I don't think you'd be able to hold your breath long enough.
Could we try a distraction? The age-old go-to?
I do have minor illusion.
Something to try to draw most of them away? I think that's not a bad potential plan.
Lulu says, I volunteer as tribute.
Oh no! The Hunger Games.
I don't think that's such a great idea, Lulu, mostly because if I remember correctly, you're the only one who has the memory, or at least supposedly has the memory of where the Sword of Zariel is. And from what I understand it, that sounds pretty important.
I appreciate your sacrifice, Lulu, but
She says,
I
I thought you guys had more faith in me. I'm not gonna let them catch me. I'm just gonna lead them away.
We could do a minor illusion of Lulu.
I say we try the minor illusion, and if worse comes to worse, I feel I could be pretty quick on my feet myself.
What's the range of minor illusion?
Is 30 feet.
You could try it.
I'll try to,
I think you could probably, Sylvie, sneak close enough to the bridge to where you could do a minor illusion of Lulu and have it fly in another direction and try and get them to chase.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. Guessing I have to make a stealth check.
You gotta make a stealth check.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. You can throw guidance on there if you want to.
Do I need the guidance?
I mean, it's free guidance. Just take it. Why don't you roll a d4? So 21. You sneak up to near the bridge. The rest of the group kind of follows closer to where they'll have enough time to run if the plan works. Sylvie, you cast a minor illusion of Lulu onto the bridge. What does it do?
I guess I just kind of like incorporate her absent-mindedness into the illusion, and she's just floating away from the bridge.
Nice. This lost a little illusion begins to kind of float on one end of the bridge, kind of off in the opposite direction where you guys are coming from, and it kind of floats to the end of the range of your illusion, and you see one of the devils point at Lulu's image, and they all run after it together with kind of a veracity at the side of the little golden lure, and as they all rush past you, this is kind of the moment. Why don't you all you can only hold the illusion, like, once you guys get out of 30 feet, you guys will one way or another. Yeah, it's gonna be the bridge is 100 feet long, so there's a brief moment as they run past where you guys all have the opportunity to make your way onto the bridge and run for it. When you guys are 30 feet out of range, the little image of Lulu kind of dissipates, and the devils all turn, and they see you on the bridge about... We'll say you guys are able to dash, so about 60 feet away from them. And they moved 30 feet off the bridge, so maybe 90 feet total. But you still have 40 feet of bridge to go when they spot you. Now that you're on the bridge, Mavathor, you notice the holy runes etched into the stonework of the bridge as well at this point, as you're all running across. You can make a religion check as well.
Okay.
Even with a 9, you know that the symbols are a representation of Torm, the god of courage and self-sacrifice. The devils see you running across, and they begin to chase after you back on the bridge. A little bit of time has passed. Dolos, you've been making your way to the high halls.
Yeah. Just trying to get there as fast as he can, while also trying to stay out of sight.
So you might try and you might ignore any distractions along the way.
Yeah, if there's like people who are going to get hurt, he's like, it's whatever.
Okay.
If it's not Lightheart or Ulder, it doesn't matter.
You're kind of slinking your way to the high halls. Did you make a stealth check when you got to the other side of the bridge?
No, I
Okay.
can make one now.
Yeah, give me a stealth check.
Okay. Why does it keep on doing that? I don't know. I'm not gonna use my dismounts anymore.
As you're making your way towards the high halls, you can see the building still burning. You're kind of hugging the lines of the buildings that kind of line up along the chasm, and then you spot a charred humanoid corpse in the middle of the street. They're still clutching a longsword in their hand.
Oh no, did she already die? I mean, I think Dolos would check it out.
Okay.
Knowing that it actually might be Lighthearts' corpse.
You approach the corpse. You get within 5 feet of it. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Of course.
Oh snap.
As you get close enough to the corpse to try to determine whether or not it's Captain Lightheart, there's like a crack opens up in the street, and a big gout of hellfire erupts out from it. And you take 5 fire damage.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad.
And give me an investigation check.
You got it.
Investigation, insight. You can tell that this is not a halfling corpse. It's seems like maybe it's human or half elven. You can see where you can tell that it probably fell victim to one of these hellfire spouts. That's why his body's all blackened and burned like this. You do notice that the longsword that it's still clutching in his hand is silvered. There's this extra bit of shine, gleam to the edges of the blade. You find an intact vial in its charred belt pouch, with the vial is like cold to the touch, and it does not appear to be Captain Lightheart.
Okay. I think Dolos sort of pockets the vial, tries to rip the sword and just throw it to the side to deter people from going to the corpse.
Oh, okay, yeah. You toss
if they want treasure, go to the sword on the side.
You can even toss the sword into the chasm.
Oh yeah, that would also work.
It falls down, out of sight, and go ahead.
Oh yeah, and then Dolos pockets the vial and just continues on his way.
Okay. As you approach the high hall, this clifftop castle was once the crowning architectural jewel of El Terrell. But now you can see, as the meteor struck it, only 3 of its 5 watchtowers still stand. From here, it appears as though the watchtowers are abandoned, Dolos. You can see that the wooden gates that once led into the castle grounds have been totally shattered, leaving a gaping hole in the wall. The west side of the castle has been reduced to a pile of smashed brick and broken wood, and the surviving buildings are blackened by soot. But at the center of the castle grounds, the High Hall Cathedral stands defiant to all of the chaos going on around you. We'll put you up here. And maybe we'll take our mid-session break like 10 minutes early here. Might be a good spot for it, because we might get into combat and stuff when we come back. So let's do a mid-session break. 5-minute little adventure break.